Welcome to this webinar on riding the bleeding edge of GenAI in AWS. My name is Rafał Kroll, because we have two Rafałs today. I'm the head of AWS technologies at Track2Summit. I'll be your host for the day. It's a beautiful Friday morning here in Krakow, 20 degrees. The sun is out. So first, give me +1s in the chat if you can see me, if you can hear me, if you can see all of us, all three of us. And once I get that, we can commence. Okay, I'm not chat +1s if we're visible and if you can hear us all fine. Okay, thanks, Florian. Anybody else? +1, awesome, amazing. Okay, let me share my screen and let's kick it off. Okay, so hello again. As I said before, the topic of the webinar is riding the bleeding edge of GenAI in AWS. And believe it or not, it's not a clickbait, because both services, or actually S3 Vector is a functionality of an existing service, and Amazon Bedrock AgentCore is a brand new service, are really, straight, they're very, very fresh, still both in preview. And to prove that, I here have the announcement blog post. So introducing Amazon S3 Vectors, that happened last month, 15th of July. And S3 Vectors, a very cool functionality of S3, basically making S3 another option for a vector data store in AWS, very cheap, very fast, very flexible. It will be the silent hero of today's presentation, because we'll be using it, or Raf Gadek will be doing will be presenting the code. We'll be using it in the background. However, don't sleep on this one. Again, still in preview, but obviously we want to encourage everyone to start using this as soon as possible. And if you're here, then you're definitely either did it, or you want to do it and check those services out. Second one, announced the day after S3 Vector. So some big announcements this summer from AWS. Usually we have to wait for reInvent for this scale of announcements like we have here. And again, a brand new separate service. You'll see it throughout the presentation. And again, I'm this guy over here. Raf will be doing the code presentation, and you have a special guest appearance from Pavel, who's from AWS's partner team. And Pavel, if you could kick us off. We're very thankful to have you today, because we know that you're joining us in the middle of your well-earned holidays. So stage is yours.
For everybody, nice to meet you guys, and I'm really pleased to be here joining. Track2Summit is basically my partner. We work for a while together. I'm super happy. I need to say that they do the excellent work so far. They are advanced tier partner with AWS. They deploy more than 40 customers over the last 2 years. And what I really love about this cooperation is that the Track2Summit really follow the market, follow the trends. They really up to date with all of our AWS solutions. So even today's webinar will present you S3 Vectors, Agentic AI. So they are the solutions that we announced not more than 1 month ago. So we really appreciate this kind of approach to the market. We can see it works. So Track2Summit is kind of a partner that always listens to their customers. We can see it internally with a lot of happy customers. And basically I also want to say maybe a little bit about AI, because lately we see, especially in SMB segment, that customers are looking for end-to-end solution in terms of improving their products, how they can better serve their customers, also different form of rack solutions in order to deliver answers for their teams and make it easier in terms of knowledge flow in their organization, data analytics and data insights, so anything related to getting an insight from the data, organizing the data, plus also the emerging market that we see is now agentic AI. So let's say we announced agentic AI around a month ago, but now it's going to be a topic that a lot of customers start discussing with us. And from AWS perspective, we would like to deliver this product through the partners. So we are, I would say, looking for the partners like Trek to Summit to deliver these solutions, because they also put a lot of effort to educate themselves, and they also have a huge benchmark of their current customers, so they understand how business works and what they need to apply in order to improve their processes, in order to improve their profitability. So yeah, basically these are the words from my side to you, and to presenting Trek to Summit as a really partner that, yeah, we use sometimes as a benchmark partner to follow. So this is a quick intro from my end. I'm pleased to be here, and now I'm handing over to Rafał, and yeah, happy to listen about this solution too.
Thank you, Paweł. Thank you for the short intro. Now we'll pass the mic on to Rafał Gadek, our cloud engineer, who show you Kiro. He'll show you the code and all of the fantastic solutions you came here to see. If you have any questions throughout this presentation, put them in the chat. I'll try to reply to all of them throughout the webinar. If not, we'll reply to them separately. So without further ado, Raf, the stage is yours.
Hi, thanks, Raf. My name is Rafał Gadek. I'm a cloud engineer with Trek to Summit from over a year. Today I'm going to be having a pleasure to show you how we're going to be using as Raf said, the newest additions to the AWS's AI portfolio. What Boyce didn't say about is Kiro IDE, which is AWS's new IDE, which is strongly utilizing AI. I'm gonna share my screen now. Can you see my screen at the minute?
I definitely can. Chat plus
Lovely.
one if you can. Awesome.
Nice. We're gonna start from showing you how Kiro integrates the nice and clever features like creating the files needed to improve the context for models that are used in similar way to the Copilot in a different IDEs. I'm going to clone the repository, which is very neat repository from the AWS. We're going to be using that repository through whole the webinar today. I'm strongly encouraging you to clone that repository and play with all features of Amazon Bedrock AgentCore. I'm gonna clone it to the separate directories. It's just a demo because I already got that repository started somewhere else for and already configured with deployed services. Yeah. And just like that, we can generate some of that steering docs using Claude Sonnet 4, which is the strongest model from Anthropic.
Raf, if you could maybe give it a command plus.
Ah, thanks.
So
thanks for that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and on the right-hand side, we can see as how Kiro is utilizing the Sonnet 4 to create that files. We've got a first file already created. It's basically the roadmap for the model when it approaches the project. It's scanning it and basically giving itself a context to retrieving the information and building or the map of our project. We're gonna have to wait for structure a bit. I've got the tag. Basically all filtered from the project that we cloned. Got all the trees. Basically the model got everything at hand when it needs it. Can accept it. And over here in a main directory, we've got an additional hidden directory which is containing that information, and the model can use it when we give it a question. Let's check the README, which is already here. Let's say we don't like that README, and we're gonna need Kiro to create us a new one. You can just simply ask for it. I'm gonna give it a sec. And a new README.
Obviously,
Yeah,
a very neat feature, as you know, we see it more often than not that even if the project is very elaborate, usually the README is only the name of the project. So you know, not something developers like to do, making documentation. So you can now do it in basically 5 seconds with zero or almost zero amount of effort.
Yeah, basically, if we didn't like the previous one, here we've got some more information from the nested parts of the project. This project contains the tutorials as well, which I'm strongly encouraging to have a look at, because it's very approachable. It's explained in very approachable way. So there is a whole step by step. Everyone can play with AgentCore and check what it's able to do. The next part of our webinar will be showing you the AgentCore, how it works and how it utilizes the internal and external tools. Basically, here's the structure of Amazon Bedrock AgentCore. The most important part of all solutions is AgentCore runtime, which basically takes the framework. We can use the frameworks like Strands agents or the LangChain, and basically all the most popular AI frameworks out there now. And we basically build in our agents using that framework. And then the AgentCore gives us the all needed tools and services to run it in the cloud. We can even run it locally if we want for a local development. AgentCore runtime is communicating with other parts of AgentCore services, which is on the right: AgentCore gateway, AgentCore browser, or AgentCore code interpreter. Basically, AgentCore gateway is responsible for handling all MCP connections and all MCP interactions with external APIs like databases or wherever API that is. AgentCore browser is a tool that enables our agent to browse the web when we want to retrieve some information from websites out there. We've got a code interpreter, which is very handy when we want to do some stuff with our code, when we want to give this agent a possibility to help us with a code. AgentCore identity is a component responsible for handling all the authentication and authorization for all of the parts of AgentCore. We've got a full observability, which we can set in place. All logs, everything, we can stream it to our terminal. It's integrates very seamlessly. And finally, AgentCore memory, which gives us the possibility of we're giving our agents all the memory of previous conversations, and basically the agent can take informations from there as well. We can use all the models that can be integrated with frameworks. Today we're going to be using AWS Bedrock models. And first of all, I'm gonna show how to run the agent straight from the framework locally. Over here we've got a script which is gonna be setting up the Strands environment for hosting an agent. We're gonna be having it connected to the knowledge base, which is already created in AWS in S3. I'm gonna say more about how S3 vectors work later on. We're gonna be taking the parameter from SSM parameter, and we're gonna be giving it to our agent to use. Over here, we're creating the agent. As I said, we're gonna be using Cloud 3.5 from Amazon Bedrock. And we're gonna be giving our agent two basic tools, which are part of a Strands agents framework. Agent gonna be able to retrieve time and gonna be able to retrieve the informations from the knowledge base. We basically have to just run. Yeah, I'm gonna check one more thing. Yeah, we've got the environment, we've got the credentials. Yeah, we basically passed that agent just a simple prompt, which is retrieving some information about the warranty status. We've got all the knowledge base populated with informations from over here. One second, I'm going to just show you guys how to what we're using. It's basically a couple of TXT files containing like a generic information about the warranties or manuals. It's basically just a generic stuff. And we've got the vector buckets over here. That vector bucket is containing all the information from that TXT files, but in a vector form, numeric form. So over here, after we asked that our agent about the Console Pro device, we can see over here that our agent gives us an answer that it decided to use the knowledge base to retrieve that information. So the agent's got the basic reasoning and can differentiate between the tools it has. We can change the prompt to ask it just about the current time.
And while you're typing it in, I want to see how the model will behave without the tool, because come on, they supposed to be artificial intelligent, taking our jobs and whatnot. Surely they can tell what's the time without.
Okay, no problem.
Without separate tools for that.
Let's check that out. Gonna leave it as an empty list, and we will see now. Give me a current time. Okay, so let's check that out. Yeah, so you see that model, that agent without the tools can't even provide us with a time.
Yeah, so if I can just add to this, because it may seem as something very simple. Obviously, everyone is interacting with agents these days with large language models. Depending on the model you use, some of them will have a cutoff date, and the cutoff date is once a model is updated under the hood, the cutoff date will be closer to the current time. So there is a possibility some of at a given at a certain time and date that you will get the answer to it. But obviously you don't want to, when you're deploying these agents to production, when you want to go, when you want to hit that sweet spot of enterprise level of solution, you can't leave it to just luck or some variable you can't control. And here you can explicitly give it access, so your agent has the tool to retrieve the current time, or we'll see in a second whether that's enough. Back to you.
And we can equip that agent basically in many more tools, like using an APIs for the MCP protocol and other stuff. Basically, it's very flexible in what it can do. Now let's see what it's going to be, what it's going to say about the current time when we gave it a tool. Yeah, now we're all good, because it's got a tool and it's able to tell us the precise time and date. And basically that's just a strand agent with on my laptop locally. Now we're gonna configure the AgentCore to take our agent on board, and we're gonna try to run it from the cloud. Basically, schematically, it's gonna be looking like this. We're gonna be having some code which is gonna be defining a model that we're gonna use. We're gonna be defining the framework, and we're gonna be needing some stuff required by the AgentCore, which is runtime decorator, identity config, observability config. Next, we're gonna run configure, which is gonna give us a Docker file that we're gonna launch into AWS Cloud, where we're gonna store that image in the ECR repository, and we're gonna be running endpoint servers in a serverless manner. Very little overhead. It's very neat feature. And then we're going to be trying to invoke that model from my laptop. So let's check that out now. Let's clear the screen. To set all the mentioned stuff we're going to be using another script, which is basically defining the agent. It's basically the same as in a previous script, but in addition to that, we're going to be defining some.
Sorry, Raf, can you make it a bit bigger? As long as maybe you don't need the terminal, yeah, just for going through line by line, and then you can make it smaller again. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, we've got it over here. So it's we're basically importing the Bedrock AgentCore runtime. We're gonna be using a Bedrock AgentCore app. As previous, we're gonna be using knowledge base, which is in the S3 vectors at the minute. We're defining our app. We're creating our agent, giving it basically the same tools, and we have to define the entry point, which is going to be responsible for handling the agent in a cloud. We're going to be giving it a payload, which is going to be having our prompt. We're going to be giving it actor ID. We're going to be retrieving some session as well. And basically, we're going to be streaming the response back to us. First of all, we have to configure our agent. So I've got it already prepared. I'm gonna make that terminal a bit bigger. Yeah, basically over here we're giving the AgentCore the entry point which is defined in that script, and we're giving our agent a name. The next part is an execution role, which agent going to be needing to interact with other AWS services. We've got it already prepared in IAM part of AWS console. We've got it here. It's a runtime role.
Oh, you got the whole page. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I see now. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, exactly. We need just that. Just this line. Yep. Next part is we're gonna be we can provide the existing ECR repository for our image. We can create a new one for a purpose of this demo. We're gonna create a new one. AgentCore already detected that we have some requirements. We have some tools that I required for our agent. It's got it in a requirements file. We're gonna just let it to use that. We can use OAuth authorizer for authentication. For today, we're gonna be just using the IAM. And basically, we've got our agent configured. We've got some informations here, but we've got it configured. We've got it all saved in a Docker file ready to be deployed. And basically now we're gonna be deploying it in the cloud. Pretty simple. AgentCore launch, local build. We're gonna be building it locally and just pushing it to AWS, to AgentCore.
Let me just add that in the production setup, you can obviously use your CI server, so you can use code build, Jenkins, other tools to do the building. For the sake of simplicity here, Raf is building it locally. And just as another addition, as you can see, we're using Python, we're using Docker, so common technologies that probably most of you are already familiar with. The setup was done before the webinar by Raf, so virtual env was created, libraries were pulled down. all of the steps are in the README. Again, I shared the link to it in the chat. So like Raf suggested, give it a try over the weekend. Very well done there. And again, the purpose of this whole service, AgentCore, really is to take your MVP, so your minimum viable product, your proof of concept, and really go to production with it. A lot of stuff is, abstracted away from you. A lot of stuff is handled by AWS now. All of the, and like they like to say, undifferentiated heavy lifting. But that is really the case here, because authorization, authentication, very important. Nobody wants to do it, and it's very easy to make mistakes when you're doing it, and nobody likes security vulnerabilities further down the line. AgentCore gateway, like Raf said, you can use MCP, you can use agent to agent, you can use your regular REST APIs. So very cool. That's also abstracted away from you. You don't have to carry memory as well. And again, you can tap into your existing framework. So it doesn't have to be Strands. It could be Crew AI, or it could be LangGraph. So anything that you're currently using. If you're not using, maybe now you'll be considering to use it, because you can be much more granular with the agents that you're building and deploying. Again, very, very cool tool. Okay, sorry, I talked enough. Back to you, Raf, again.
No worries. So as you see, we've got our agent already deployed in to AWS. And that's basically, let's invoke our agent and let's see its responses. Give me warranty conditions. Maybe let's ask it about the current time first.
That will be our benchmark going forward for any for any agents we work with, that it can
exactly
give you the kind of time.
And basically, it uses the given tool, retrieves it nicely. We're gonna check the retrieval from a knowledge base. Let's see if I got any. Let's ask it about some sort of a product. Let's say I have a game console pro. I want to check my warranty status. The knowledge base mentioned. Use the retrieval from a knowledge base. So we basically have some guidance. Very useful thing for creating stuff like customer support chatbots or assistants, because basically we can feed that that knowledge base with all our corporate knowledge or company knowledge, and that model gonna be able to put together the needed informations and give it back in the form of a chat, which is pretty useful nowadays. Now I'm going to say a couple of words about how the S3 vectors work under the hood and what's its advantages. And if we're going to have some time left, we can. I'm going to show how to run that AgentCore locally from our machine. But basically, the S3 vectors is the object storage, which is going to be able to hold our vectors without using any database, which is big because everyone who used the vector databases before knows that he needs the all infrastructure around the database to use vectors. Here we're gonna have it massively simplified. basically just using an embedding model, which is many of these models is available on Amazon Bedrock. Basically, that embedding model takes the raw texts and transforms it to the vector data, which is numeric. And S3 vector is going to be able to take that vectors and store it in a vector index for us to retrieve. It's also massive because the cost of storing the vectors is very, very low in S3. It's up to 90% cheaper than storing the vectors in a vector databases like say OpenSearch or even the Postgres with PG vectors, and it's just a lot less overhead when using S3 vectors, because like I said, we don't have to run all the infrastructure around our databases. And when we've got our vector data stored in a vector index, we basically have it ready to use by the other AWS services like Bedrock or SageMaker or OpenSearch services. We can create basically all the knowledge bases that we want. We can create the collections for OpenSearch, and it's very, very useful. Just as you see on the demo, we can plug to that knowledge base remotely. We can use it locally. Very neat stuff. Now I think we can try to run the AgentCore locally. We're gonna need server process for that. I'm gonna be trying to launch it now. We're gonna be launching it in another session.
L is for local, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we basically have it on our machine locally, which gives us the very good opportunity to debug our code to run the tests locally. Very, very nice feature. We're gonna have to wait a second because of our accounts restrictions, but we're gonna get it at some point. If you've got something to add, Raf, it would be nice while we're waiting.
I want to say, because again, AgentCore is a brand new service, a collection of separate functionalities that come together under this umbrella called AgentCore. Raf mentioned memory before, and also you mentioned that it would be you could use it in a chatbot scenario where let's say our customer is, like in this specific case, contacting us regarding a warranty. So if you plug in AgentCore memory, which is, again, we're not doing it here, but it's also, as you can see by following what Raf is doing, all of the steps are relatively easy. So by plugging in memory, the agent can remember previous conversations. So if a customer comes back with the same problem or asking about the same device, even if it's 10 years apart, the agent will remember that, which is really cool and adds that extra polish to your deployments, because nobody wants to answer the same questions over and over again.
Yeah, and the project that we use in the repos got some a tutorial about the memory and other components, so everybody can use it and check what's the capabilities of that service. Yeah, we've got an answer from a model, and basically we're just running it locally. Yeah, we also have all the logs if we want to, if we've got something to retrieve from there. We've got it in the CloudWatch. Yep. Yep. Let's see on the random one what it says. Nice application startup complete. Yep. All ready for us to make a use of. And
sorry, Raf, maybe while you're in CloudWatch, maybe you can go back. There's a brand new section on the left-hand side, pane, under application signals, GenAI observability. This is, if you could scroll down, is above network monitoring. So this is the observability that you were talking about in the very beginning. So all of your, invocations, all your metrics can be found here. You can add traces. So again, more visibility to what's going under the hood, and especially if in your use case you have a lot of traffic, a lot of conversational sessions going on, this is very handy. Again, this comes as part of Bedrock AgentCore, and you can see already some data here, even though we were only basically testing stuff out. And this uses OpenTelemetry under the hood, so you can also integrate it with your existing systems and dashboard if you don't want to use CloudWatch for whatever reason.
Yeah, thanks, Raf. It's basically all that I wanted to say today. Thank you very much for attention, and I hope that AgentCore, you're gonna have a lot of pleasure using it.
Amazing. Okay, we blasted through it. I thought I was worried we're gonna go overboard with time. We still have some left. If there are any questions, I haven't seen. I was monitoring the chat, but I haven't seen anything there. But if you have any, now's the time. Let me just share my screen again. And before we wrap up, let me share some of our socials here. So, definitely, you can, if you have any further questions about what you saw, any further questions about your deployments or your use cases or other technologies around GenAI, feel free to, reach out to us, add Brav on LinkedIn, add myself, add Pavel, follow our company page, because so you're up to date with events we do in the future. Go to our website. We're currently in the process of rebuilding it, so it will look even better in a couple of weeks. So be sure to check that one out. But definitely, again, follow our socials. If you like what you saw, or if you're inspired, or if you want to get deeper and go hands-on with it, we'll be doing local events. So on the 23rd, I believe, on October, we'll be doing an immersion day in Krakow. That one will be in Polish, and potentially week after, so late October or early November, we're planning on doing the same event. So GenAI on AWS as part of AWS Immersion Day in London. That one will be in English, obviously. So again, follow us on LinkedIn to don't miss out on these. If you have any ideas for us for future webinars, feel free to reach out to us. And I think with that, we'll wrap it up a bit earlier, but I'm happy we kept it, we kept it short, and I think you saw a lot of meat. I think you can still wishlist Kiro if you haven't played with it. You can use it with your existing projects, and you can still, I think, until the end of month, you can use it free of charge. There is the pricing was announced, but I think there is a generous free tier with it as well. So give it a try. Yeah, I think I was thinking of maybe we could do some spec-driven development with Kiro, but maybe let's leave it. Maybe we can do it on a separate occasion, unless you want to do a freestyle in the last 10 minutes. But that's entirely up to you. No, you're done. You're cool. You're not saying anything. So I guess, yeah, I guess that will be. Again, thanks everyone for joining us today. Thank you for tuning in. There will be at some point a recorded version of this webinar. Don't know whether it's going to be YouTube, LinkedIn, or somewhere else. Again, follow us on our socials. Reach out to us if you have any questions, and have a great day and wonderful weekend. See you next time. Raf, thanks again.
Cheers.
That was really cool.
Bye-bye. See you, everyone.
Bye.